The US spends over $6 trillion every year, carries more than $34 trillion in debt, has the biggest budgets in the history of the world. And somehow the system still says it needs more money. Why are the numbers keep exploding, but life keeps getting more expensive? Let's find out. All right, welcome back to the American Backdrop. Before we start, go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me. Here we step back and look at how things actually work and try to make sense of it. So thanks for subscribing. The United States spends more money than any country in history. In 2025, federal spending was about $7 trillion. The national debt is over $34 trillion. State and local governments spend trillions more every year. Taxes are everywhere. Income tax, payroll tax, sales tax, property tax, fuel tax, fees, permits, insurance costs, compliance costs. And still, every year, we have the same thing. We need more money for infrastructure, more money for healthcare, more money for schools, more money for housing, more money for defense, more money for social programs. So the question becomes simple. If the country is collecting and spending more money than ever, why does it feel like the system never has enough? This is the richest economy in the world, over 27 trillion GDP. And to put that in perspective for you, you would need about 67 companies the size of Apple every year to equal the US economy, the largest tax base in history. So how can a country with this much money constantly act like it's short on money? Where's all the money going? The question is, you don't need statistics to feel it. Everything costs more. Housing costs more. Healthcare costs more. Insurance costs more. College costs more. Groceries cost more. Gas costs more. Property taxes go up, fees go up, bills go up. At the same time, government spending keeps going up too. The federal budget today is more than double what it was 20 years ago. State budgets keep growing, city budgets keep growing. New programs get created every year. Old programs never go away. Temporary spending becomes permanent spending. Look at healthcare, for example. The US spends about $4.5 trillion a year, with the T, the highest in the world. Yet people still worry about medical bills. Public education costs over $800 billion a year, yet schools constantly say they need more funding. Infrastructure bills pass for hundreds of billions, even trillions. But roads are still under construction everywhere, and cities still say they're short on money. Then look at the debts. Around the year 2000, the national debt was about $5 trillion. Today, it's over $34 trillion. That means the government borrowed almost $30 trillion in about 25 years. And still, the system says it needs more. So the question isn't emotional anymore. It's logical. If spending keeps rising, why don't results rise the same way? Because the money isn't disappearing. It's being absorbed. To be fair, a country this large is expensive. The US spends about $800 billion a year on defense, over $1.3 trillion on Social Security, more than $1.5 trillion on Medicare and Medicaid, and now over $1 trillion a year just on interest on the debt. Those numbers alone explain why the budget is huge. But they don't explain why costs keep growing faster than results. The real reason is how the system is built. In business, if you spend more, you're expected to produce more. If you don't, you lose money or lose customers. Government doesn't work that way. Agencies don't get rewarded for spending less. They get rewarded for protecting their budget and asking for more. That's interesting. If a department spends less, next year it risks getting less funding. So the safest move is to spend everything and request more. Smart. Then you add layers. Federal, state, county, city, special districts, boards, commissions, contractors, consultants, compliance departments, legal reviews, environmental studies, administrative staff. Every layer costs money, not because someone is stealing it, but because the system has so many steps that every step adds time, people, and overhead. You see it in infrastructure. Projects take longer, cost more, and require more approvals than expected. The longer it takes, the more it costs. The more it costs, the bigger the budget becomes. When spending grows, it rarely shrinks. Healthcare works the same way. A large share of the money goes to administration, insurance systems, billing systems, and regulations, not just treatment. Estimates show administrative costs alone can be hundreds of billions per year. And when nobody is responsible for the total cost keeps growing. The first thing that changes isn't the budget, it's trust. People feel like they are paying more but getting less. Not because every program is bad, but because the system feels disconnected from results. When taxes go up but services don't feel better, people start asking questions. When the debt keeps rising and nobody seems worried, people wonder if anyone is really in control. When every problem gets solved with another funding bill, people start thinking the problem isn't lack of money, it's how the money is used. Over time, people stop expecting efficiency. They assume projects will cost more than promised, take longer than planned, and deliver less than expected. Younger people feel the system is harder to enter. Middle-class families feel squeezed from every direction. Businesses raise prices because their costs go up. And their costs go up partly because the system around them keeps getting more expensive. So the cycle repeats. Costs go up, programs expand, budgets grow, debt grows, spending grows. And you end up with a country that is still incredibly rich, still incredibly powerful, but constantly feels like it's running out of money. Let's be clear, the money isn't disappearing. It's moving through a system built to grow year after year, layer after layer, budget after budget. And a system like that never runs out of ways to spend money. As long as spending is easier than fixing and increasing budgets is safer than reducing them, the numbers will keep getting bigger. The debt will keep getting bigger. And people will keep asking the same question, where is all the money going? And that's the American backdrop. If you found value here, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment below to let me know what you think. And as always, stay sharp, stay aware. And the next time you hear about another budget, another bill, another funding package, stop for a second and ask yourself, is there really not enough money? Or is it just not going where it should? See you in the next one.